of self-improvement books on your shelf, the audiobook queue, the highlighted passages in the books you finished 6 months ago. Reading is great, don't get me wrong, especially books that help you better your mind, your philosophy, your life. But sometimes it can produce the feeling of growth without any of the substance. You're not getting better by reading. You're getting better only when what you read becomes what you do daily for long enough to change something. Everything else is intellectual entertainment dressed up as personal development. And here's the truth. The reading is not the work. The reading is the easy part. The work is application. Application is rare. Application is what changes a life. Almost everybody who's been reading self-improvement books for years could point to dozens of books they've read and name almost no principles they've actually applied for 90 days or longer.
One of the gentlemen, his name is Bob Healy, came to our conference with a quasi-functional prototype. He had terminal cancer, and Bob came to me and said, "Help me."
Entrepreneur Clay Clark has built several multi-million-dollar businesses. Now, he helps budding entrepreneurs like Bob turbocharge their ideas with a 14-step plan.
And grillblazer.com is now a massively successful company that's becoming a household name in many American homes.
In this episode, we dive into how to rebuild American small businesses and industrial capacity.
You never want to outsource your core competency. We have to import certain technology from countries that hate us to make military weapons to defend us. That doesn't even make sense.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kellick. Clay Clark, such a pleasure to have you on American Thought Leaders.
Hey, thank you for being here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So, this current administration is looking to revitalize the economy, to push it to a next level. And for me, always small business has been a centerpiece of this. It's kind of, some people describe it as the engine of American innovation and growth and so forth. But during the COVID years, just we're emerging out of them as we speak, a lot of small business was frankly wiped out. And you're the guy who's actually helping people kind of build those small businesses. So tell me about what you do.
Well, in America today, we have about approximately 330 million Americans that live here, and we have 9.2 million Americans that identify as being self-employed. And so what happens is somebody out there, a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, a plumber, somebody says, I want to start my own business. And when they do, they don't really know the proven processes to start and grow a company. And that's what I do. So I basically take somebody with a dream and I align them with my team and we help them scale something. If you sell something to humans on the planet Earth in exchange for a profit, that's what we help people to scale.
You've structured your business in such a way that it's actually, unless your client does well, it's impossible for you to do well. And I thought to myself, what a brilliant way, what an ethical way to set up a business, because you kind of have no choice.
Well, you know, the word shalom, which Pastor Jackson, I go to Sheridan Church, and Pastor Jackson talks about that word from time to time, shalom. But the shalom is like a win-win. It's a win-win relationship, a mutually beneficial relationship. Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author, Think and Grow Rich, calls it the mutually beneficial relationship. And so what I do is when I coach a client or work with a client, I tell the client, hey, look, I'm going to help you grow your business for the smallest monthly fee possible, and I just want to get a small percentage of the growth. Because if I'm getting 1 percentage point of the growth, theoretically you're making 100 times more than I am. But if I can scale multiple companies, it turns out to be a great thing for me. So I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. And so what I'll do is I'll sit down with an electrician, and the electrician will have a business that's stuck. It's not thriving. It's barely surviving, and they go, I don't know how to grow. I don't know if it's marketing. I don't know if it's human resources. I don't know if it's accounting. I don't know if it's pricing. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the economy. How do I grow my company? And I sit down with them and I say, look, we're going to go through a 14-step plan to rejuvenate, to revive, to bring life into your business. And I'm going to get a small percentage of the growth, and you're going to be rich, and I'm going to be doing very well if this works.
How do you actually figure out who you're going to work with? Because with your particular model, it's clear you can't it's not that anybody who wants to work with you can, because you have to make your decisions about who you think has potential, because you're going to be on the hook for it.
Well, when you got a chance to kind of shadow me a little bit off camera, I do a lot of the video editing myself. I do a lot of the web development myself. I do a lot of the accounting myself. So I'm very much hands-on. And so I like to keep a group of around 160 clients I work with. And I do these free assessments. And the reason why I do a free 13-point assessment is I just want to see, are we going to have a shalom or a win-win relationship? And there's three things I'm looking for. Do you actually solve a problem? Or do you provide a product or a service that the marketplace would benefit from? So if somebody's selling something that I think is ethically afoul or against my Christian morals, I'm not going to work with them. So thing number one is, do you sell a product or service that I actually think is ethical, legal, that kind of thing? And you'd be surprised how many people are selling illegal things that want help doing it. So step number two is, does the person actually identify with the worldviews that I have? If I'm going to sit there and debate about the Constitution or capitalism, that's probably not the thing. So one is, do we have a product or service that we can actually help you scale? Two is, is the person ideologically aligned with me? And then three is it realistic? We want to be able to set these SMART goals. I call them SMART goals. They're S-M-A-R-T. I'm quoting Brian Tracy, best-selling author, but a SMART goal is a specific goal. It's a measurable goal. It's something it's actionable. You can actually take action and do it. It's realistic and it's time sensitive. S-M-A-R-T. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it actionable? Is it realistic? Is it time sensitive? Because if I can help somebody grow a company and I can see a clear path to get there, it is exciting, Jan, when you know, wow, this person's business is struggling and I can help them scale. So I think about Papa Gallo's Pizzeria in Florida. Mm-hmm. We've helped this couple grow. They've opened 3 restaurants. So since I've started working with them, we've opened up restaurant 2 and 3. They've grown their business 5-fold. I think about ShawHomes.com from 14 million to 150 million. I think about companies like OxyFresh, where I've had a role in advising them. They're now up to 500 locations. Beverly Hills Precious Metals. Here's my precious metals dealer that I've worked with for years. And to watch him scale his company, that never gets old to me. It's like infinitely exciting to help someone achieve their goals. So that's really what gets me excited. And then growing up poor or without money, I'm sure there's somebody watching this who grew up more poor. But my dad was working at a gas station, working the night shift. My dad was delivering pizzas for Domino's. May he rest in peace. In his late 30s, he's delivering pizzas. He's working at a gas station. He has a college degree from Oral Roberts University. That wasn't a reverse shout out to ORU, but that's a fact. But yet he didn't know how to financially help our family thrive. But he had the work ethic, and I appreciate him being willing to work those 2 jobs. And so whenever I talk to that new potential client, I picture it like I'm talking to a 37-year-old version of my dad. My dad's no longer with us. He passed away from Lou Gehrig's. But that's how I look at it. And I can't communicate it with enough sincerity or passion. But every person I talk to on the phone who wants to become a client or wants to come to a conference, I pretend in my mind, maybe it's not healthy, maybe it is, that's the 37-year-old version of my father. And that's what I look for. But someone who wants the hand out, no. I don't want to do that. But this person needs a hand up. That's who I try to work with.
Tell me about your background. So, you did grow up in kind of a humble situation, but you had some very interesting, pivots along the way.
Well, this is what happened. I'm a kid that stuttered. My dad's working 2 jobs, working at the gas station, Quick Trip, and working delivering pizzas. My mom's doing what she can do. And it occurred to me, and I don't remember the exact moment, Jan, but I remember that kind of era of my life, thinking to myself, we're poor. Although we don't care about money, every decision was somehow impacted based upon money. And I thought to myself, 12-year-old self, 13-year-old self, I'm going to find a way to make copious amounts of money so therefore I can focus on other things. Because for anybody who spends any amount of time with me, there's 3 things I'm always doing. I'm always writing songs, I'm always writing books, and I'm always writing business plans. So I get into that kind of stuff, but you can't afford to write songs that very few people listen to unless you have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. So I set out on this quest to create time freedom and financial freedom. So out of my parents' basement, I started a company called DJ Connection. Back in the day, it was called C&G DJ Service, and it was called G because the youth pastor that mentored me he was old enough to drive a car. See, I couldn't drive a car. And so the guy who drove me to my gigs was my youth pastor, and he lost a bet and shaved a G into his very hairy chest for some reasons I don't understand. So it was C&G DJ service named off of that. And then I basically started cold calling schools. I'm a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, cold calling schools saying, hi, who DJs your school dance? Who's in charge of organizing the school dance? And they would say, oh, that's the PTA, or that's the booster club, or that's the parent sponsors. And I say, hey, I'd love to DJ your school dance, and I'll do it for $1. And you can just pay me after the event what you think it's worth. Well, a lot of schools are infinitely disappointed in their disc jockeys. And so I started getting some gigs. I started doing 2 gigs a month, 3 gigs a month. I needed equipment. I was selling the gigs, but I didn't have any equipment. So I found a pothead by the name of Oswald, and I rented equipment from him. This is a true story. And I thought to myself, I probably don't want to be renting equipment from potheads. I probably need to have a more viable, this is my 14, 15-year-old mind. So I got a job working poured concrete, and I got a job working at the Norseman restaurant, and I got a job working as a home health aide. So I had 3 jobs simultaneously. That was my pro tip for getting rich quick. And I took every dime I had, and I just kept buying more speakers, more sound, more lights. The speakers I bought were called JBL TR225s, and these were like $500 a piece. And I tell you this because I was making $8 an hour. So if you're making $8 an hour, you got to work, 70 hours to buy a speaker, before taxes. So you got to work 80 hours per speaker. So I had 3 jobs. I'm working these 3 jobs. Eventually, I decided to go to college early because in Minnesota, if you have enough credits, you can go to college early. So I went to St. Cloud State, and I picked classes, graphic design, language, accounting, things that I thought would help me on my career. And then I transferred to Oral Roberts University. And at that point, I changed the name from C&G DJ Service to DJ Connection. And then over time, I started getting into weddings. And before I sold the company, we were doing 4,000 weddings a year, which is 80 weddings a weekend, by the way. So think about all the vans, the lights, the mic stands, the speaker stands, the lighting equipment, all the people, training these people. And then I started this thing called the Tulsa Bridal Association, which was a big bridal show. And I started one of the region's largest wedding photography companies called epicphotos.com. And what happened is the fathers of the bride would pull me aside and they would say, hey, I'm a dentist. Could you help me grow my business? Hey, I'm a doctor. Could you help me? Hey, I have a hardware store. Could you help me? And I won this thing called the SBA Entrepreneur of the Year Award, the Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award for the state of Oklahoma. I also was the City of Tulsa Entrepreneur of the Year Award for the Chamber when I was 20. And I was the state's Entrepreneur of the Year when I was 27. And I kept winning these awards. And every time I would win awards, people would say, can I pick your brain? And I kept being asked and asked. And eventually, we found ourselves with 160 clients. And that was almost 20 years ago. So I've been doing the same thing for 20 years, and I love it.
Thank you for tuning in to American Thought Leaders. In a world where spin and agendas dominate the headlines, I'm proud to bring you unfiltered insights from the brightest minds in America, from a relative outsider Canadian perspective. To keep this possible and to access even more exclusive content, in-depth documentaries, in our daily digital newspaper, consider subscribing to the Epoch Times today. It's your way to support independent journalism. Just hit the link in the description below to subscribe and unlock the full American Thought Leaders experience and so much more. You can try it today for just $1 a week. So just hit the link in the description below. And now back to the interview. And we're back with Clay Clark, business coach at thrivetimeshow.com. Tell me about the BS in business school.
Well, I primarily think that business school is primarily BS. I primarily find that business school involves talking about theories, talking about concepts, theories, and things that don't impact actually growing a company. But when you get out of business college or you start a business, you've got to learn the 4 steps to grow a company. Step 1, find a problem. Step 2, solve the problem. Step 3, sell the solution. Step 4, nail it and scale it. Because if you can't sell, your business is going to go to hell and your life will not go well. And so most people have a degree from business school, but they have no knowledge of how to actually start and grow a successful company. I call my Thrivetime show, I call it the Thrivetime Show Business School Without the BS. Because I find that so many people, my father is one of these, where, again, may he rest in peace, he went to school, he was top of his class, he graduated with great grades, but he had no concept of how to turn his goals to own a business into reality. One of the gentlemen, he came to our conference, he had terminal cancer. By the way, through the grace of God, he did not die. His name is Bob Healy, and all your listeners can go verify his story. It's grillblazer.com, grillblazer.com. He showed up at one of my conferences with a quasi-functional prototype, meaning it's a prototype that wasn't polished, for a thing called the grill gun, which is like a flamethrower for grilling. And he had never sold any. He had never had a team. He never employed people. He didn't have a website, didn't have a logo, didn't have a brand, didn't have a marketing plan, but he had a prototype. And Bob came to me and said, help me. And grillblazer.com is now a massively successful company that's becoming a household name in many American homes. He's kind of like the grill master now. And that's a guy named Bob who is battling health issues, marketing issues, branding issues, accounting issues, and Bob couldn't find financing either. We actually helped Bob raise all the money to sell the product.
Bringing back manufacturing is a centrally important feature of America being successful. Some of that is going to be small business. How many of your businesses are are manufacturing, and how can that be done in your mind?
I believe that my client portfolio is very indicative of the American entrepreneurial portfolio as a country. About 10%, I would say, ish of our portfolio has to do with manufacturing. I would tell people as a pro tip, you never want to outsource your core competency. Exporting jobs to China started under Nixon, but that's just complete jack. To outsource 95% of our essential medical supplies to countries that hate us. We have these essential metals, these essential elements needed to make car batteries, to make cars. And we have outsourced that to the point where the majority of the countries that hate us are the ones who are procuring these essential elements needed to make manufacturing possible. So America needs to do, I know you recently interviewed Eric Trump, and Eric talked about this. We've got to bring manufacturing back to America. We've got to do it. And so anybody out there that has that dream to make jeans in America, make a tie in America, make shirts in America, make shoes in America, make clothing in America. I encourage everybody really seize this opportunity under the Trump administration and find a way to bring manufacturing back to these United States. We saw it happen a little bit under President Trump and Dr. Ben Carson. We saw an urban renewal. Dr. Carson was instrumental in bringing investments into urban development areas that basically the world had given up on. And they brought in great restaurants and nightlife and entertainment, and they rejuvenated, they put life and investment capital into these abandoned buildings and revitalized a lot of downtowns. I know we can do the same thing with manufacturing. So if you're watching today's show and you have the ability to reinvigorate manufacturing in America, I would encourage you to do so. And I don't speak for the Trump administration, but I know they are really wanting to team up with and support and to breathe life into entrepreneurs that want to bring manufacturing back into these United States.
There's this idea that a country can't be successful without this core element of manufacturing. There's this philosophy, right? Do you subscribe to this? That the bulk of manufacturing has to be within a country for it to even be successful ultimately. It can't be service oriented. It can't be.
I'm working with a client in Wisconsin who has a home remodeling company, okay? And he actually does beautiful home remodeling. He does great work. Well, he's not outsourcing the manufacturing and the remodeling of a house to somebody who can do the work because he can't. He does the work himself. Therefore, when he talks to, in this fictitious example, he talks to the Thompsons, and the Thompsons say, you know what? I want the pool table to go here. I want the lighting to go here. I want to move this to create this ambiance. This client who I actually work with in Wisconsin, he's able to get in there, get in the conversation with the client and rearrange the building plan to accommodate the client's needs. He can do that. But if he was outsourcing that to a third world country or a second world country or some country not here, it would be very hard to make those real-time modifications. So my client, yes, he's a home remodeler, but I would argue he's almost a plumber. He's almost an electrician. He's almost a designer. He's almost a sales guru. He's almost a manager. He's almost an accountant. He's wearing a lot of hats. And this is what you call a polymath. okay? And a lot of the founding fathers were polymaths. I challenge anybody out there to look up the life of Benjamin Franklin and tell me what career he was in. Thomas Jefferson, what career? Look up George Washington, what career? What career were these people? Were they politicians? Were they military leaders? Were they entrepreneurs? I would say a lot of our founding fathers were all of these skill sets. And I think it's a good idea to be resourceful. Now, what happens is when we outsource our core competency to countries that hate us, by the way, what does that even do? I mean, I don't even understand how that's a sustainable idea. To make some of the cutting edge military technology that America's military now uses, we have to import certain technology from countries that hate us to make military weapons to defend us. That doesn't even make sense. Think about that. If you go, let's go back to the time of kings and queens and castles, and imagine that you are a king trying to protect your castle, and you have to get behind your castle walls and yell out on your castle, megaphone, "Excuse me, enemy, could you please ship us spears? We are trying to protect ourselves." And
From you.
Yeah, from you.
Right.
And then the hostile enemy says, "Sure, how many spears do you need?" I mean, just the jackery, the duality, the mental gymnastics I have to go through to understand how outsourcing our core components, our core resources, our core manufacturing to countries that hate us, I just can't do it. Also, the CCP, they are not a competition, they are an enemy. The Chinese Communist Party does forced organ harvesting. The Chinese Communist Party has no problem with sending people to re-education camps. The Chinese Communist Party is not somebody that we should be working with. You do not want to be investing heavily into a country that has a ideological hatred towards your worldview and who has psychopathic tendencies. It's just not a good idea.
There's this term that's often used, whole of society, right? And that can mean different things. Whole of society could mean, like in communist China, where the Communist Party, the supremacy of the party is complete, and the party dictates what happens on down, and the whole of society has to follow, because that's how it works. But whole of society can also mean something else. It could also mean bottom up, right? Which means, people basically working together, getting inspired to do, start their small business, be entrepreneurial, come up with new ideas, come up with new manufacturing concepts, theories, and actually just get down and do the hard work of, raising, what is it? The rising tide lifts all boats, yeah. Right? And so, as we finish up, let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, years ago, there was a gentleman who personifies the American dream. His name's Kevin Thomas. Everyone can look him up. His company is called MultiClean. Everyone can look him up. I think it's multicleanok.com. And Kevin made a profound statement. He said that if he could have just 5 employees, that would be success. You say, well, what does Kevin do? It's a janitorial service. You'd say, well, what does a janitorial service do? He cleans commercial buildings. And Kevin made that profound statement. If I could just have 5 employees, that would be success. And at the last conference, somebody put their hand up and they said, well, Kevin, you're having a lot of success. How many employees do you have now? He says, just a hair over 350. Think about that for a second. So this guy, Kevin Thomas, had a goal to have just 5 employees. He thought entrepreneurship wasn't quite for him, that maybe he didn't have the education, he didn't have the marketing background, he didn't have the accounting, he didn't have the skills. But what he did is he went on over to thrivetimeshow.com, that's where I live, thrivetimeshow.com, and he went there and said, you know what, I'm going to fill out the form, and I'm going to schedule a call with this crazy guy, and we'll just see what happens. He has 350 employees. He's one of the most successful people in his town. And I share that story because everybody out there, you can become successful. And when you are, money's a magnifier, good and bad, by the way. So money allows you to be more of who you are. So if you're a generous person who loves to donate and celebrate and tithe to your local church or community or your outreach, you can give more. Money allows you to be more, to give more, to be, it allows you to just magnify who you are. And so if you're watching this show and you're kind of in the mind space where my 37-year-old father was, where he was delivering pizzas at Domino's Pizza, which, again, great company. We're appreciative for that opportunity. He was working at Quick Trip gas stations, and we appreciate that opportunity too. He's working the night shift, and I have not an ounce of resentment that my father was working the night shift during my years growing up. I respect him for doing it. But if you feel like, man, success has passed me by, Kevin was a guy, in his early 40s who's having these thoughts, and now he's profoundly successful. Clay Stairs, who's now an Oklahoma state representative, he started his entrepreneurial path when he was 47 years old, and now he's super successful. Bob Healy had terminal cancer and was in his early 60s, and now Grill Blazer is booming. I can list off examples all day, but everybody out there, if you have the mental capacity and tenacity to listen to today's interview, I promise you have what it takes to do it as an entrepreneur.
Well, Clay Clark, it's such a pleasure to have had you on.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining Clay Clark and me on this episode of American Thought Leaders. I'm your host, Yanya Kellick.
Are you looking to start or grow a super successful business? Join Eric Trump, the New York Times bestselling author of The Carnivore Diet, Sean Baker. Join hundreds of real business owner client success stories at the highest rated business conference in America. Join Mel K, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, and myself in Tulsa, Oklahoma, November 5th and 6th. Attend the most real, the most authentic, the highest rated, and most reviewed Ultimate Business Growth Workshop. During this 2-day interactive business workshop, you're going to learn everything you need to know to make your business grow. Learn how to generate more sales. Learn how to produce additional high-quality inbound leads. Learn how to create repeatable systems. Learn how to build a successful business. And learn how to do it now. If you've ever wanted to learn how to start and grow a super successful company, this is the event for you. At our 2-day interactive business workshop, we will teach you specifically every step that you need to take to start and grow a super successful company. We will teach you specifically how to get to the top of the Google search engine results, how to dominate artificial intelligence search results, how to market via social media, how to generate more leads, and how to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. We're going to teach you the step-by-step processes that you need to learn in order to hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality employees and teammates. We're going to teach you specifically what you need to learn to manage a team of people. We're going to teach you how to manage your finances, how to look at the numbers, and to figure out the specific steps that you need to take to create a time freedom and financial freedom producing business. At the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, we've been teaching entrepreneurs everything they need to know to start and grow a successful company since 2005. In fact, at our 2-day interactive business workshops, we're going to teach you marketing, systems and scaling, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and so much more. You can learn more and request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. Yes, you can request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website. Join Eric Trump, myself, and Team America live and in person at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, November 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement.
Okay, Aaron Antis, November 5th and 6th. Guess who's coming back to Tulsa? I will give you a hint. His first name is Eric, and his last name is Trump. Whoa. And his father is the 47th president of these United States. Yes, Eric Trump is joining us once again here September 25th and 26th in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. But Eric Trump is bringing friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Grace will be in the place. Dr. Stella Emanuel will be here in T-Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Julie Green will be on the scene. Mel K will be here to say hey. Dave Scarlett from the His Glory team will be here. It's going to be a blasty blast right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you want to start or grow a super successful company, if you want to make your wallet great again or make your wallet great for the first time, if you want to learn marketing, systems, scaling, human resources, accounting, social media, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and more, get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Play is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, you know, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, you know. The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely, it's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Well, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, he needed a competent man to run and execute his business plans. Showtime! So the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. Right. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had
718 people. 718 people.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
You know, I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. I should. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet.
I was looking to learn how to take my business, like they've said today, from being very successful to being systematic. I've got a very successful practice in 3 different cities, make good money. Just want to take it to the next level with systems and processes to where I can drive my cars more.
Paul Hood.
I have been a CPA for 33 years.
And what kind of growth have you and your great team had here over the past, let's say, 5-6 years?
For the last 5, when I met you 5 years ago, we were doing 3 million. This year we'll do 24 million.
Whoa! And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And if someone says, I want more, this is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns the what do you call that? The rental,
storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have an admin, sales person that works for us full time, developing an online system, and a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that I mean, his stuff is not revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff.
It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Whoa! What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue, maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.
Whoa!